So that was Memphis Depay landing at the Kotoka International Airport to a raucous welcome. A lot of fans there, traditional dancing going on to welcome him into town. He is not in town to switch nationalities though, we all know that for sure. Memphis is on holidays after the long season with FC Barcelona. He's in town to relax and wind down. As you're already aware, Memphis is of Ghanaian descent, but he is playing for the Dutch national team. And no chance of him playing for Ghana whatsoever. So let's rest those rumors on that front. Of late, when a player lands in the country, always has to go with the talks of him switching nationalities. And Tariq Lamptey was one such player in the early weeks of June, who when he landed into the country, that talk was making the rounds. There were some truths in that talk and has been confirmed here by the Argus. They have stated, a Brighton and Hove centered website, that Tariq Lamptey's nationality switch, which were being denied by some quarters, is set to be finalized next week after coach Otto Addo said that 3 players could possibly be switching nationalities. It has all been confirmed here. Also, according to Mundo Deportivo, Iñaki Williams and Nico Williams have refused to play for Ghana. They've ruled out the possibility of playing for Ghana despite efforts by the Ghana Football Association during their holidays. The brothers have returned to Spain and want to focus on their club career. So that chapter has also closed on that front. We're also going to talk about Hugo Broos' assessment of the South African League, the PSL, and say that it is not up to the standard to produce quality players. He talked about it and many people are not happy. We'll look at what exactly he said. We're also going to look at Ghana's chances of making it, winning the World Cup. Has been drawn by some statisticians. Chances of winning it. We'll look at all that today. As usual, subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification bell to get more updates. So Memphis Depay is in town. He is on holiday. But however, someone who was not just on holiday in the early weeks of June, that's Tariq Lamptey. His nationality switch is all but confirmed. Next week, clearance will be given by FIFA, as stated by coach Otto Addo after the Ghana international friendlies. He has stated that next week FIFA will give 3 players clearances, and that will mean that they can be called into the September African Cup of Nations qualifiers and preparations for the World Cup. Tariq Lamptey, according to the Argus, Brighton and Hove Albion-centered website with news in and around that area, have said that the fullback has pledged allegiance to the Black Stars and is expected to be given the all-clear by FIFA next week after acquiring a Ghanaian passport, meaning he was in town to acquire the Ghanaian passport. Many people were wondering why he was in town and that probably he was just here for holidays after a long season. After saying that himself in an interview with Joy Sports, obviously these processes are not supposed to be made public until they are completed. So it's just right that he said that. And besides, he did exactly that, making some donations to some charity organizations he is in charge of, and also playing some games with them. Lamptey will be hoping he will play at the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Ghana have already qualified for the competition and will face Portugal, South Korea, and Uruguay in the group phases. And now the 21-year-old had represented England in the youth teams but has not appeared for the senior side, which has made way for the switch to be easier. This is compared to Chelsea winger Callum Hudson-Odoi, who had made 3 appearances for England. It has been reported that Lamptey will be named in the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifiers in September before the World Cup in November. Lamptey made 20 appearances in the Premier League last season, helping Albion to a record finish in the English top flight. So that is it there. Many England fans are not happy that this young man here is leaving their quarters, but it is happening. Tariq Lamptey's nationality switch will be given the all-clear by FIFA next week, and in September he will join the Ghana national team. As to the other 2, my good guess, Eddie Nketiah. We know Hudson-Odoi, his own, he can only play for Ghana in November, but it is being reported that he can also play in October. They want to have him involved in one of the friendlies that will be taking place in October to assess him and to integrate him well into the team and into the plans of coach Otto Addo, who has made this clear. It will be clear in September. Next week, clearance for 3 players. Let me know your thoughts in the comments box on this one. My next story has to do with Hugo Broos and his brutal assessment of the PSL lacking quality players, unlike Ghana. Now, you know South Africa's league is one of the best in Africa. Well, it has been doing, the teams have been doing well on the African continent. They have the utmost best of facilities across the African continent and everything. But Hugo Broos' assessment in recent times has laid it all to bear and has had people thinking, does South Africa really have the best players in their league? And now the South African coach Hugo Broos says the Premier Soccer League lacks quality players compared to Ghana in a brutal assessment of the team following their recent slump against Morocco in the AFCON qualifiers. The 70-year-old Belgian claimed at a sensational press conference that the players at the local South African league lack substance to compete at the top level, citing the vast difference between the country and Ghana. The gaffer said now is the time to face the real problem, and the real problem of SA is that we don't have high quality players like our last 3 opponents, Ghana, France and Morocco. When you see the players of Ghana, 90% of the players are European based. France, I don't have to explain, all the players are playing in the big European teams. For Morocco, only one player from Wydad Casablanca featured, and he is the goalkeeper in the squad that played against us. The rest of the team is playing for big clubs like Fiorentina, Sevilla and PSG, and we don't have such quality players in Europe, talking about the South African players. Broos added, we can look at the fantastic race that Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates did on the continent, but Sundowns lost in the quarter-final stage of the Champions League and Pirates lost in the final of the Confederations Cup. 2 Moroccan clubs in Wydad and RS Berkane won those competitions, and in the Moroccan team, there was no player from those teams in the national team except the goalkeeper. Let's face it, the problem of SA is that the level of the PSL is not high enough. Ghana has dominated the Bafana the international stage after beating them in World Cup qualification. The West African giants have always been superior to South Africans at the top level of global football, but they did beat us in the World Cup qualifying campaign at home, which gave the glimmer of hope, but unfortunately did not work out. But Hugo Broos, this is his brutal assessment of the Premier Soccer League, and it does make some sense. But do you agree with him? He said that Moroccan clubs won both Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup, but then when you look at their national team, only the goalkeeper was the one from one of the clubs. He is giving a brutal assessment there, and he has to give South African League a reality check. Is the South African League players, are they not up to the standard? Probably yes. He's saying that because we don't have, or South Africa doesn't have players in those leagues, they are being denied such an education. Football is now scientific and progressive. The Europeans are ahead of the curve in that respect. If anything, we should be learning from them and implementing it in our continent, in our various leagues. But we are not doing that, and I think essentially that is what Hugo Broos wants. Players should go out there in Europe and learn or get the resources down here, the expertise to help nurture the players down here. And I think it's a fair assessment. But let me know what you think. If you're South African and you think Hugo Broos is right, let me know what you think in the comments box on what he had to say. Do you agree with him, or do you think he's reaching here with this comment here and cannot do the job? Let me know what you think in the comments box. My final story has to do with Ghana's chances of winning the World Cup. I, for one, do not think Ghana will win the World Cup, but I am open-minded enough to expect us to go very far. And now below is a list of possibilities of Ghana, the chances of countries that are tipped to win the World Cup, and Ghana is down the pecking order, obviously, with a 0.02 chance of winning it. We'll see what happens. Leicester City were 5,000 to 1 to winning the Premier League, and they did. So these things just are for the bookmakers to make some more money from those who bet. Looking at this and betting is all risky. They could be right, they could be wrong. Football doesn't follow logic. So that has been it for today. Tariq Lamptey's nationality switch will be confirmed next week. We've also been talking about Hugo Broos' strong assessment of the PSL and Memphis Depay in Ghana. Ghana has 0.02 chance of winning the World Cup. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your day.